Okay, so I'm back for part 2 on this 148 scale Phantom RF-4B build. I haven't got much done over the last week or so, just been busy with work, but finally got some more progress done. I feel like I'm now at the stage where I can now start mainly getting paint on. The most of the construction now has been completed. I've been tidying up a few bits and pieces on the build, so the fuselage now is complete. I've just sprayed some black around the front end just to check all the joints and everything around the conversion area. And tonight I've just installed the intakes there on. The seams, the joints needed minimal cleanup. It was only just the port side that needed any adjustment, but that's all done and taken care of. I've sprayed the gear bays black in preparation for for spraying them white. I've got the fairings installed on the underside for the just where they fare in. These would have covered the forward Sparrow launcher bays, and then just fared into the nose area. Got the pitot tube on. That's probably likely to break off before I complete this build, but you know, these things happen. But I just wanted to get that on because the aft portion of the probe is the same color as the radome tip, which is going to be black, so I wanted to be able to spray that and then mask it all in one go. I've just sprayed around the cockpit area, but all of this is going to get primed in black before I start applying any of the final color. Just had to tidy up a couple of joints on the back end here, so that's why they're sprayed black, just to check the joints on those. But basically the entire construction now is complete on the fuselage. I'm going to keep the canopies separate and paint those separate and then just put them on later. And I'm actually going to make some intake plugs because there's actually nothing on here. Sorry about that, I just had to change my battery. So yeah, as I was saying, construction is completely complete on the main fuselage now, and then I've just been working on many of the sub-assemblies, like got the gear doors all prepped and painted. The Italeri kit has all the gear doors molded as one, so I guess they were thinking that you could do this build in flight. But to do the gear down, you actually have to cut the doors into the three parts. This door here is the resin bay door for the nose gear, as well as this piece here. Just primed the exhaust cans there; they're ready to go, and I've assembled and I primed the wheels, and I've just sprayed some white for the wheel hubs, so I'll hand paint the I actually tend to use NATO black for tires. I just think it gives a more realistic look to tires as opposed to just regular flat black. So that's what I intend to do with those. So all the wheels are ready to go, including the nose wheels as well. Got the gear legs, they're all assembled. Same deal, just primed them in black and then sprayed some Tamiya XF1 acrylic onto those. So they're done. The pylons, these are the inboard pylons. Again, primed in black, and then I actually want a more durable finish on these. So ever since I've started getting back into the hobby, sort of about 10 years ago or so, I chose to go down the acrylic route. You know, you hear a lot of people say that the acrylics, they're not as, the fumes aren't as bad, particularly if you don't have a spray booth. And they're generally easier to work with. However, if you've got the right thinner, then there's no reason to say that any one particular type of paint is easier to work with than another. If you've got the right thinner and you can get the paint to thinner ratios correct, then spraying any type of paint should be no problem. My personal sort of mix of paint to thinner is about sort of 60-40. That's a good general spraying mix, and then I may thin it as much as maybe 20% paint to 80% thinners if I'm doing detail work, you know, just light, you know, particularly for post shading and that kind of thing. But for this particular build, I want to use a gloss white, particularly for the underside, and then I'll use a flat coat on top of that at the end of the build, just to dial it back. Now, I thought I actually had some Tamiya X2, which is gloss white, and I thought I had that in some acrylic, but as it turned out I didn't. But I've had these a while. These are oh, what are they? What volume are they? They're probably only about sort of 10 mil. Yeah, see, I think these are only about 5 mil bottles, but these are the actual Tamiya enamels. I've had these a while, just mainly for doing detail painting, that kind of thing. But because I didn't have any acrylic X2, I just decided to use some of these. Now, I haven't used enamels in spraying for years, mainly because of the fumes that they give off. But I actually had no problem with these. I just opened the window at the back here. Actually had no problem with it. So, and they sprayed just as good as the acrylics, using my normal mixing ratios, and yeah, they came out pretty good, I thought. You know, there's no problem at all, and they dry pretty quick. I tend to use a hairdryer just for quick drying and stuff. I've done the tanks as well, so they're ready to go. And whilst they're pretty shiny at the moment, that will get dialed back later on towards the end of the build when I use a flat coat finish. So I've also got the tail planes as well. These are primed and ready to go. They're going to have some metallic work done on them as well as the exhaust area. So that's kind of where I'm at with the Phantom. Nothing. It's not, I wouldn't say it's massive progress, but I feel like I'm getting there now that I've got all the small details all ready to go. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. So, and just sort of I'm at a stage where now I'm looking to advance, you know, sort of step up a bit more on my use of materials and products. And so one of the things that I've desperately needed to do is I use a Harder and Steenbeck HS. This is a Evolution 2-in-1. I've had this now for going on about 9 years. I actually bought this when I moved over to New Zealand, and my very first airbrush was a Badger, and it was the old siphon feed, and I just couldn't get to grips with it. I find siphon feeds are really hard to work with because you have to mix your paints externally, and you have to clean out. You have to have individual bottles with siphon attachments, and they're not as easy to work with. This is a gravity feed brush, and it's so much easier to work with. Now, this is the first gravity feed dual action airbrush that I've ever had, and it's never let me down. I've never had any problems with it. I find it relatively easy to clean out. I guess the only thing with it is that parts are actually quite expensive for these types of airbrushes, but it's an investment, and if you treat your airbrush right and it lasts you for years, and this has lasted me for years. It's gone on nearly 10 years now that I've owned this airbrush. I've needed to renew some parts on it now, so I just bought some. These are some new needle nozzle sets. I've got 0.15, 0.2, 0.4 and 0.6 needle nozzle sets. So these are just the needles, and I've got the all the nozzle sets, so you get the individual nozzles. So I bought a stack of those, and also got a new cleaning kit. This is actually a if I can find it here. This is actually a reaming tool for cleaning out the actual nozzles themselves. So all it is just a small blade, rotary blade that you just put inside the nozzle just to clean them out, and it comes with like a pipe cleaner thing that you can use to clean out the nozzles. So yeah, I needed a new one of those. So I actually got them from Gordon Harris, which is a New Zealand based firm. They seem to have these parts readily available, so I was pretty happy with those. So yeah. Also, I've been looking to upgrade my paints, and I'm looking into the possibility of getting a spray booth and changing my paints to a combination of lacquers. And one of the things I've come across is a company called the Scale Modeler Supply. They're an Australian based company, and they're producing these lacquers. They call them acrylic lacquers, which I'm not sure what the difference in terminology between a straight lacquer and an acrylic lacquer. I suppose you get synthetic lacquers or something. I'm not really sure. But I wanted to give these a go. You know, I understand lacquers are harder wearing, quicker to dry, and just give an overall smoother finish to your paint job. So I bought the Surface Black Primer, and I bought their starter set, which has black, white, clear gloss and flat clear, and they come in a really nice little box, presented really nicely. So they're an Australian based company. I was surprised that customs didn't sting me for anything for these. I suppose there's always time. They only just arrived the other day, but and the shipping was actually really quick. I ordered it on a Monday and they were here by Friday. I don't know whether that's an exception to the rule or what, I don't know, but so I got their sanding sets, got their fine, so these come in a pack of 3. I got their fine grit, I've got the medium grit, coarse grit, and also bought their the set of 5 detail brushes, and also got their set of 10 brushes, which I didn't happen to spot on the website, but these 5 are actually included in this set, so I might be giving these away. So yeah, so that was my mistake, but you know, they're really nice brushes. They've got a nice sort of triangular finger hole design, just really nice, really nicely presented, and yeah, I'm sure I'll have some good use out of these. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and I'm hoping to get this done by the end of the week, sort of thing. I've got a club meeting coming up on Thursday, so I'm hoping I can get it done by then. But Phantoms, as Phantoms go, they have a lot of decals, so that's probably going to take, once the painting's done, the decals are probably going to take the longest to do. So anybody who's built a Phantom will know what that's all about. But I'm going to sign off there, and yeah, catch up with you soon. See you on the next part. Bye now.